Hello students, and welcome to second language English class. So in the previous before this, when we started online classes, I straight away did the second chapter, which was a poem. So today I'm going to start with lesson number 1 from the beginning. Lesson number 1. And in lesson number 1 we have father's help. So it is divided into 3 units. But today I am going to do only unit 1. So Father's Help by Rasipuram, Krishna S.U.M.I, Iyer, Narayan S.U.M.I. I am not going to write the full name of the writer. Rasipuram, Krishna S.U.M.I, Iyer, Narayan S.U.M.I. Commonly or popularly known as R.K. Narayan. So, R.K. Narayan, because of his name, it's quite long, so we can guess from which part of India he is from. He is from the southern part of India. So he was born in Madras. So now Madras is known as Chennai. So he was born in 1906 and died in 2001. So talking about names, this name, the name of R.K. Narayan is quite long, but then quite longer than the people of northern India. The North Indians have quite shorter names compared to the people from the south. But Indian moms have the habit of changing the names, making names more shorter. For example, suppose a person's name is Chandan. So mummy, with love, she calls it Chandu. And then suppose if another example is like Hemant, if the person's name is Hemant, the mom will say like Hemu. All right. So anyway, now let's say I'm going to tell you something about the writer that is R.K. Narayan, because it is important to know something about the person whose work we are studying. All right. Though it is not going to come in your examination, but still I feel that you should know something, so you should have some information about the writer or the author. So some of his notable works are like The Malgudi Days. It's a collection of short stories. The English Teacher, another is The Man-Eater of Malgudi, and then The Guide. Now, The Guide is a novel by R.K. Narayan, and then there is some interesting things are related with The Guide, the novel that is Guide, because The Guide won the Sahitya Akademi Award, right? And then it was adapted for a movie with the same title, The Guide, in which starred, let's say, the famous actor, that is Devanand. Ab Devanand ko bishayama bhannu jandakari, he is the most successful actors in Indian film industry. And then कस्तो भयो भन्दाखेरि कि देवानन्दको विषयमा एकपल्ट अब मसँग भएको इन्सिडेन्ट र म बात मार्दा गर्दाखेरि अलिकति एजेड मान्छेसँग बात मार्दा गर्दाखेरि यस्तै मुभिजहरुको फिल्म इन्डस्ट्रीको विषयमा कुरा हुँदाखेरि देवानन्दको कुरा आयो र देवानन्दमा कुरा आउँदाखेरि कस्तो मैले भने आई मेड अ स्मल कमेन्ट अन देवानन्द कि अब अलिक पुर्के खालके अब त्यस्तो खालके एक्टर पनि लाग्दैन म त भन्ने खालके मैले अलिकति कमेन्ट गरे। अब बडीहरु पनि त्यस्तो छैन, मस्कुलर बडी पनि थिएन देवानन्दको भन्ने टाइपको मैले गरे र त्यो मान्छेले चाहिँ कस्तो भयो नि कि ही बिकेम भेरी एङ्ग्री, एकदमै उलाई रिस उठ्यो। त्यहाँदेखि अब अहिलेको कम्पेयर टु the प्रेजेन्ट एक्टर्स र कस्तो छ भने अहिलेको चाहिँ एकदमै फियर्स कम्पिटिसन छ एक्टिङमा पनि। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि अहिले खालि अनुहार मात्रै राम्रो भएर हुँदैन, फेस मात्रै राम्रो भएर एट्र्याक्टिभ भएर हुँदैन, अलिकति फिट पनि हुनु पर्यो एक्टर, होइन? उहिलेको जमानामा त्यस्तो थिएन। र त्यसैले गर्दाखेरि अहिलेको जमानामा एप्सहरू हुनु पर्यो, जस्तो टाइगर श्रफको हुन्छ, त्यहाँदेखि अर्को के अरे हाम्रो ऋतिक रोशनको हुन्छ। र ऋतिक रोशन भन्दाखेरि कस्तो भन्दाखेरि मेरो नाम पनि अलिकति त्यहीसँग जोडेको, तर where the irony is that where his name ends, my name begins from there. उसको जहाँ नाम सकिन्छ मेरो त्यहाँदेखि सुरु हुन्छ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि ऊ एक्टर होला, म एउटा टिचर मात्रै हो। तर यस्तो छु, म त्यस्तो छु, जस्तो सुकै भए पनि दामी छु, होइन? र त्यहाँदेखि अब त्यो मान्छेले मलाई करायो, र कराउँदाखेरि त्यस्तो दामी एक्टरको विषयमा तिमीले कसरी कस्तो यस्तो खालके कमेन्ट गरेको भने। त्यहाँदेखि हुनु पनि अब देवनन भनेपछि एकदमै फेमस एक्टर पहिलाको, त्यसले गर्दाखेरि उसको डाइहार्ड फ्यान्सहरू यता हिल्समा पनि थियो, यता दार्जिलिङ कालिम्पोङ खरसाङमा पनि थियो त्यति बेलाको टाइममा। र पछि देन आई रियलाइज कि इट इज नट हिज फल्ट कि उसले मलाई गाली गरे त्यति बेला भन्दाखेरि। हि बिकेम एङ्ग्री। त्यति बेला उसको फल्ट होइन, किन भन्दाखेरि दिस इज यो जेनेरेसनको। र जेनेरेसन कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि कि इच इन्डिभिजुअल थिङ्क्स द्याट हिज जेनेरेसन इज बेटर देन द प्रिभियस जेनेरेसन एन्ड इज बेटर देन द जेनेरेसन आफ्टर। र जुन चाहिँ जेनेरेसनमा बिलोङ गर्छ एउटा इन्डिभिजुअल, त्यो इन्डिभिजुअलले के सोच्छ भन्दाखेरि उसको जेनेरेसन जतिको राम्रो चाहिँ अरू जेनेरेसन छैन भन्छ। र यो भन्नुको मतलब होइन। त्यसैले गर्दाखेरि हामी के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि इक्जाम्पल जब साइट गर्छ, इक्जाम्पल दिँदाखेरि के भन्छ भने हाम्रो जमानामा त यस्तो थियो, हाम्रो जमानामा उस्तो थियो भने हामीले इक्जाम्पल दिन्छ, होइन? र यो भन्नुको मतलब होइन कि फेरि तिमीहरूको जेनेरेसनमा हाम्रोभन्दा राम्रो छ भनेर तिमीहरू फेरि हामी त केही गरे पनि हुँदैन भन्ने टाइपको चाहिँ होइन। किन इट इज लिङ्क्ड। यहाँनिर चाहिँ के आउँछ भन्दाखेरि रोल अफ हिस्ट्री आउँछ फेरि। र हिस्ट्री चाहिँ कसरी यहाँनिर आउँछ? हिस्ट्री किन सिलेबसमा हुन्छ हाम्रो भन्दाखेरि किनभने हिस्ट्री प्लेज एन इम्पोर्टेन्ट पार्ट। र हिस्ट्री त्यसैले गर्दाखेरि हामीले यहाँनिर अहिले अब उहिले लेखेको यो फादर्स हेल्प, होइन? र अहिले हामीले पढ्दैछ। किन भन्दाखेरि हिस्ट्री इज लिङ्क्ड विथ द पास्ट। त्यो पास्ट जुन चाहिँले चाहिँ के गर्छ भने हेज सेप्ड द प्रेजेन्ट। हाम्रो अहिले यो प्रेजेन्ट जुन चाहिँ छ त्यो प्रेजेन्टलाई चाहिँ सेप गरेको छ हाम्रो पास्टले। र हामीले जुन चाहिँ अब हाम्रो यो प्रेजेन्ट सिचुएसन जुन चाहिँ छ, प्रेजेन्ट टाइम जुन चाहिँ छ, र प्रेजेन्ट टाइमले फेरि हामीले जे जति पनि गर्दैछ त्यो इभेन्ट्सहरूले हामीले के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि इट सेप्स आवर फ्युचर। फ्युचरलाई सेप गर्दै लान्छ, एउटा डाइरेक्सनमा लान्छ। त्यसैले गर्दाखेरि तिमीहरूले पनि ह्याभ टु डु थिङ्स राइट, वक अन दि राइट ट्र्याक, जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ फ्युचर जेनेरेसनको लागि चाहिँ फाइदा भओस्। र हिस्ट्री चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि एउटा घडीको पेन्डुलम जस्तो हो। इट स्विङ्स ब्याक एन्ड फोर्थ, किनभने इट गोज टु इट गोज टु past which has shaped the present, होइन? and the present which is going to shape the future. त्यसै गर्दाखेरि हिस्ट्री चाहिँ त्यही कारण हामीले पढेको पनि हो, होइन? हिस्ट्री नसोच्नु कि एउटा खालि उहिलेको घटनाको झगडाको विषयमा मात्रै पढ्नुपर्छ, त्यस्तो हेनतेन भएर मात्रै हुँदैन। हिस्ट्री त्यसै हालेको होइन सिलेबसमा, होइन? सो एनिवे त्यहाँदेखि अब आउँछ हाम्रो आरके नारायणको विषयमा अझै भन्नुपर्दाखेरि बिकज अफ हिज ग्रेट कन्ट्रिब्युसन इन द इङ्ग्लिस इन्डियन राइटिङ्स इन इङ्ग्लिसमा उसको धेरै कन्ट्रिब्युसन भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि हि अल्सो रिसिभ द पद्मा विभूषण अवार्ड, द्याट इज द सेकेन्ड हाइएस्ट सिभिलियन अवार्ड हो यो। देन हि अल्सो रिसिभ द पद्मा भूषण अवार्ड विच इज द थर्ड हाइएस्ट सिभिलियन अवार्ड, होइन? त्यहाँदेखि उसको त्यो फेरि लेट्स गो ब्याक टु गाइड। त्यो गाइडमा जब मुभी बनाइसकेपछि के भयो भन्दाखेरि मुभीले पनि फिल्मफेयर अवार्ड पायो फर द बेस्ट फिल्म। सो नाउ दिस इज अबाउट द राइटर एन्ड हिज कन्ट्रिब्युसन्स इन इन्डियन राइटर्स इन इङ्ग्लिस। नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट द Unit 1. The Unit 1, when we look at Unit 1, we have only 3 characters. One is the protagonist, that is S.U.M.I. Or let's say his full name was Swaminathan. The second character is his father, Swami's father. And the third character is Samuel, the teacher of Swaminathan. So we have only three characters in the short story, Father's Help. Now, excuse me, Swaminathan is the protagonist. He is the hero, or he is the lead character in the story. And father is the father of Swaminathan, and Samuel is the teacher of Swaminathan. So this story deals with a boy named Swaminathan who is a student like you guys. So Swami, just like you guys, Swaminathan also does not want to go to school. So towards the end of the story, we find a change in the character, in the behavior of Swaminathan. So for the time being, we'll be doing only Unit 1 today. So let's start Unit 1. So first I'm going to read the text and then explain to you a few lines first, and then I'm going to do the explanation. Lying in bed, Swami realized with a shudder that it was Monday morning. It looked as though only a moment ago it was Friday. Already Monday was here. He hoped he didn't have to go to school. So Swami, all of a sudden, when the story starts, Swami is lying in his bed, all right, and lying in his bed, and suddenly he realizes that it is Monday morning and he has to go to school. So for a moment, it was only for a moment he had thought that it was Friday, but already Monday had arrived very quickly. So, कथाले फर्स्ट प्यासेजले हामीलाई के बताउँछ भन्दाखेरि इट रिमाइन्ड्स मी अफ माई ओन स्कुल डेज जब हामी पनि स्टुडेन्ट थियौँ जस्ट लाइक यु स्टुडेन्ट्स होइन र फर्स्ट कुरो के छ भन्दाखेरि हामीलाई स्कुल जानु मन पर्दैन होइन र कुनै अब स्कुल जानु अब बाउको डरले अब स्कुल जाँदाखेरि कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि कि कतै स्कुल जाँदा जाँदै एउटा न्युज आओस् कि स्कुल छुट्टी भयो आज स्कुल लाग्दैन भन्ने आओस् भन्ने हुन्छ र जति अब जसोसुकै भए पनि हामी स्कुल पुग्यो होइन तिमीहरूको मन पनि यस्तै नै हुन्छ होला जब स्कुल आयो त्यहाँदेखि हामी ब्रेक टाइमहरू हुन्छ होइन सिधै लन्च टाइम हुँदैन त्यो ब्रेक टाइममा नि हामी के आशा गर्छ भन्दाखेरि ब्रेक टाइममा छुट्टी हुन्छ कि कतै हुँदैन लन्च टाइममा कतै हुन्छ कि लन्च टाइममा पनि हुँदैन होइन त्यो 2 बजीको होइन 50 मिनट्स पास्ट 1 मा जब लास्ट ब्रेक हुन्छ बिफोर द स्कुल गेट्स ओभर त्यति बेला पनि के हुन्छ कि यति बेला छुट्टी होस् भन्ने हुन्छ हाम्रो मनमा र स्वामीनाथन पनि त्यस्तै नै हो होइन उसलाई स्कुल जानु मन पर्दैन र जसोसुकै भए पनि उसलाई अब स्कुल जानु नपरोस् स्कुल छुट्टी होस् भन्ने खालको लागिराख्छ र कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि जब मन्डे ट्युजडे वेडनेसडे त्यसरी हामी स्कुल जान्छ र फ्राइडे आउँदाखेरि कस्तो लाग्छ भन्दाखेरि अलिकति मनमा ढुक्क हुन्छ किनभने टुमोरो वी डोन्ट ह्याभ स्कुल त्यो थिङ्किङ हुन्छ हाम्रोमा हैन त्यहाँदेखि फ्राइडे हामी मजाले ढुक्कसँगले खेल्छ किनभने भोलि त स्याटरडे स्कुल जानु पर्दैन त्यहाँदेखि स्याटरडे पनि हामी त्यसै नै ढुक्कसँगले बस्छ हैन मजाले बस्छ त्यो मनमा एक प्रकारको त्यो शान्ति हुन्छ कि भोलि स्कुल जानु पर्दैन कि बिकज टुमोरो इज सन्डे हो भनेर त्यहाँदेखि सन्डे बेलुका चाहिँ हामीलाई अलिकति मन भारी भएर आउँछ किनभने मन्डे हो भोलि चाहिँ बिहानै उठेर स्कुल जानु पर्छ भनेर सो स्वामीनाथन अल्सो फेल्ट द सेम त्यसैले गर्दाखेरि ऊ सुतिरहेको बेलामा अचानक ऊ जिरिङ्ग भएर उठ्छ कि बिकज ही रियलाइजेस द्याट इट इज मन्डे मर्निङ एन्ड ही हेज टु गो टु स्कुल नाउ एट 9 o'clock स्वामीनाथन वेल्ड आई हेभ अ हेडेक सो स्कुल नजानुको कारणले गर्दाखेरि बहाना बनाउनु पर्यो उसले र बहाना बनाउँदाखेरि के भन्यो भन्दाखेरि स्वामीनाथनले 9 बजे उसले भने ही क्राइड द्याट ही हेज अ हेडेक Mother generously suggested that Swami might stay at home. At 9:30, when he ought to have been in the school prayer hall, Swami was lying on the bench in mother's room. So, our mothers always have a soft corner for her children. So, when the mother of Swaminathan hears that Swaminathan has a headache, she, let's say, tells him that okay, since you have a headache, you don't have to go to school. This is what his mother says to him. Then at 9:30, when Swaminathan was supposed to be at the school assembly, he was still lying on a bench in his mother's room. Then father realizes, father comes to know that Swaminathan has not gone to school. So he comes to his room and father asked him, "Have you no school today?" "Headache," Swami replied. "Nonsense, dress up and go." "Headache," said Swaminathan. So when father comes to his mother's room and sees him lying on a bench, father says, "Have you no school today? You don't have to go to school today." Swaminathan says, "I am suffering from headache." Then the father says, now fathers are usually stricter than mother. So father says that nonsense, right? Dress up, get ready and go to school. Then Swaminathan again protests by saying that he has a headache. Then father says, "Loaf about less on Sundays and you will be without a headache on Monday." So father says that you should loiter around less on Sundays, you will not have headache on Monday. Right? So Swami knew how strict his father could be. So he changed his tactics. I can't go so late to the class. So now Swami realized that his father is very strict. His father is going to send him to school. So now he changes his strategy, right? He realizes that he has to change his plan. He has to make another excuse so that he may not have to go to school. So what he says to his father is, "I can't go to school so late." All right. "You will have to, it is your own fault." Then father replies to that. Then what his father replies to that is that you loitered around for too long on Sundays. That is why you are having a headache on Mondays. So it is not your fault. It is all your fault. That is why you have to go to school. Then Swaminathan says, "What will the teacher think if I go so late?" "Tell him you had a headache and so are late." So Swaminathan says that, "What will the teacher think if I go to school late?" Then to which father replies that, Tell your teacher that you had a headache, so that is why you are late. He will scold me if I say so. If I give this reason to the teacher, then he is going to scold me." This is what Swami says to his father. "Will he? Let us see. What is his name?" So father questions like, "What is the teacher's name?" To which Swami replies, "Samuel." "Does he always scold the students?" "He is a very angry man. He is especially angry with boys who come in late." So when father asks father asks Swami whether Samuel scolds the students every time or not, then to which Swami replies that he is a very angry man and he is especially angry with those students who arrive late to school. So I wouldn't like to go late to Samuel's class. Then father says, "If he is so angry, why not tell your headmaster about it?" Then father says that if he is so angry, if this Mr. Samuel is so angry, then why don't you complain about this to your headmaster? To which Swami replies, "They say that even the headmaster is afraid of him." So when father says that, "Why don't you complain about this to the headmaster?" Swami replies to his father that, "I have heard that even the headmaster is afraid of Mr. Samuel." So with this, unit 1 comes to an end. So this unit 1 is followed by the comprehension exercises, which you have to do. And apart from this, when this video gets uploaded, I will be sending you the other exercises related with this unit. All right. So another thing is, if you don't have the textbook with you, I'll be sending you the PDF file of this textbook in the same group. All right. So stay home and study well. Thank you.